Hey everybody, welcome to This Board Game Life, episode number 120, titled Gateway Games. This is the show about gaming, board games, tabletop games, any other thing that we want to talk about, usually gaming related. And for today, we're going to be talking about gateway games, how to get people involved in the hobby, how you would progress through that, and all that good stuff. So that's a little bit of info as to what's coming up your way here in the next hour or two. I'm one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob, and with me, as always, right over there is my good buddy Mark.
Howdy, Rob. How you doing? What's up?
I'm doing fantastic. Can't wait to get on with the discussion for our show today.
Yes, this will be. I think this is going to be fun to talk about that first hit.
Yeah.
What starts the addiction?
What starts people into the hobby or chases them away forever? Actually, I would probably say that all the games that were sold in Toys R Us pretty much chased everybody away forever. It's more about getting them back in. Although right before Toys R Us exited the scene of retail, of what before they liquidated, maybe that's another way to put it, they started to get some stuff, some better games than, Sorry and all those. But anyway, so before we get on to the main meat of the show, just want to make a quick mention. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel. There's a ton of great content out there. We got our podcast, both video and audio form. Technically, they're both audio. We've got unboxings, we've got playthroughs, reviews, tons of great content. Make sure to check it out. And when you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Everything that you see, that's a great way to support the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Also tell your friends. Hey, why not? All right. So let's talk about what we've been gaming these past 2 weeks.
Let's do it.
That we've been doing. Yeah. Here, I'll go first real quick. I've got one. It was going to be two. The second didn't quite make it into the schedule this week. Probably in the next couple of days, and that's Cities. So I picked up Cities a while back, and then more recently I picked up Cities USA, which we've got a unboxing video for. I think that posted yesterday or today. I don't know. One of these days. If you're listening to this, it's already up there.
Exactly.
On our channel. Yeah, so got Cities to the table, and then Cities USA. If you've ever played Cities, I like the game. It's Phil Walker Harding and also Steve Finn, aka Dr. Finn's games.
It disappeared.
Yeah.
Rob's been swallowed into the black hole.
Apparently, I wasn't interesting enough for my camera, so I went to sleep.
That's sad, Rob. You're putting the camera to sleep already with just a couple minutes in.
Yeah.
What about our poor audience?
It's got a little gimbal thing, so it just goes. Normally, I would think it would just be enamored with me and it would just be staring at me lovingly the entire time. Actually, it's a really strange camera. Now we're kind of like going off on a little tangent here. So this freaking thing turns on in the middle of the day. I just look and I see it's on staring at me. So, it's got the little gimbal thing and it's like looking at me. I'm like, that's a little creepy. Just a little bit. And now when I want it to stare at me, it goes to sleep.
Yeah.
That's technology.
You got to love it, man.
Yeah. But anyway, so Cities, I forgot. Where was I? Yes, I was talking about Cities. Yeah, so Cities is an awesome little game. It's by Steve Finn of Dr. Finn's Games and Phil Walker Harding. I really enjoy both of their games. and they joined forces and they came out with Cities. You've played Cities, right?
Oh yeah, I
I know
got
you
that.
did.
That's a great game.
Yeah, I saw you did a thing about a year ago for it. So our video on our channel, and yeah, I just love those kinds of games where, like, so in Cities you're making your own little neighborhood. You've got water tiles, well, like sidewalk tiles. I don't know what you would call them, where the buildings go, and then you've got parks. So parks, like building areas and water, and then you just have to build your city by putting different colored like skyscraper tiles, and you can make multiple floors of those, and then you have different park elements, different water elements, and it's a fun light game. It's one of those games that basically has just a couple of actions, right? Where you're basically doing like two, three, four things, and that's it. But then you get the complexity by, trying to do collections, or in this particular game, you're trying to make skyscrapers, three or four highs. Some are, you only want them to be one high, or you want to make a park with at least seven. That's one of the things in, I think, the New York board. But yeah, you need to make certain areas a certain size, and it's just fun. It's just fun, not too brain burnery, and also, maybe it's a good gateway game. Who knows? We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Cities USA kind of takes that same game style and just makes it a little more what I'll call gamery, whereas Cities is more of a lighter game. The Cities USA is more of a crunchier game, definitely, where it ramps up the complexity a little bit, which probably makes it better for hardcore gamers. And it's still probably within the vein of being okay for the more casual gamers as well. It's not too bad. But anyway, yeah, I played Cities, really enjoyed that game. And how about you, Mark? What have you played?
I had an actual pretty, well, I wouldn't say it was a slow 2 weeks because I got a lot of several of these games in, several plays of each of these. But
Mm-hmm.
this week I only played like 4 games in the last 2 weeks. So my list is a lot shorter. But a game that took just about 6 hours to play is The Witcher Old World. And we had a group of 4 of us that played this, and it was our first play, and it took us, I think it was like 5.5 hours. With
So it's
the
like Twilight. No, not Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, Twilight Struggle. I was going to say Imperium, but
No,
no,
that
not
one's
that one.
But The Witcher Old World this is a fantastic game. I think the only downside to this is the setup and the teardown. There's a lot to set up, but I think this was our first time as a group. So the guy that has the game, he's got all the content, he's got everything, and it just took a while to set it up and everything. But it was like the first time that he has played the physical copy. He like learned on Tabletop Simulator and but this game is fantastic. You are playing a Witcher. If you're familiar with the video game or the TV show or the Netflix show based on the video game, it's a very highly successful video game. I'd never played it. I mean, I've heard of it. I knew what it was. But so it's not, they got several different board game versions of it. And this is an absolutely fantastic game to play. It has, like, you're the Witcher, you're running around killing monsters, but there's like 3 monsters on the board at a time, and you can pick up these traces of these monsters to learn like some it gets some advantages on these creatures that you're killing to make it a little easier, because it's not easy to kill them. But you also have to be careful because other Witchers are, like we had 4 Witchers in the game. We were playing 4 of us, and there's 3 creatures out there, and we all are having to go kill creatures. So you got to be careful what other people are tracing. They can actually go and kill the thing that you're working towards. So as you're getting these traces, everybody sees what you're kind of tracking down and trying to make weaker, and they can go in there if they feel confident enough. They can go try to kill the thing themselves, and then you are losing out. It impacts your ability and slows you down. So it's really cool. You can fight other Witchers. In fact, one of the guys he needed one more, like killing a monster or um, killing me. Well, I don't think you can kill a Witcher to win the game. I don't think you can do that. But he was trying to. I think he wanted to take me out. He attacked me. I think to try to win or to try to get himself in a position to win potentially. And I fought him off. I mean, it was a hard fought battle. He was definitely better prepared, and I somehow managed to hold him off and take him out. And it was really cool. The combat in this game is intense. It is so cool the way it works. And just fighting with the creatures it's just like you don't know what's going to happen. And it's probably one of the best combat systems I've ever seen. I really love The Witcher: The Old World, and we are going to be playing it again, but we're going to try the cooperative mode, which will probably make the monsters a lot harder to kill because we can all gang up on them. So I would imagine it's going to just be insane. And we're just trying to get a day scheduled so we can try that. But The Witcher: Old World is just a fantastic, fantastic game. On the easier side of, again, kind of another miniatures game is Zombicide 2nd Edition. I got to play quite a bit of this recently, and scheduled to play again this week, playing some more Zombicide. I'm so happy to finally get this game. I love Zombicide. I have loved it since the first time I ever played it, and now I got people that want to play it, and it looks like we're going to get a regular kind of cadence going with playing some Zombicide. So I'm really excited about it. Really love the game. It can be very challenging. It's not a game to play if you have people that are lone wolfers. You've got to play together. You got to work together.
So no Leroy Jenkins?
You cannot Leroy Jenkins this because depending on the mission, some missions will require everybody to get out. And that's tough. Like this game ramps up, and I mean, you will have so many zombies on the board. It's just overwhelming. And some missions, we had the last one we played, we didn't even have to all survive. We just had to have one person get like all the way maxed up on their adrenaline points and be alive. That's all we had to do to win. And we got wiped out. Like it was just, it's crazy. Some games, it's all a draw of when the abominations come out, and are you getting your Molotov cocktails in time, and just this, how you go. And we had a guy go off on his own, and we're all like, no. And that's what was our downfall, is he got taken out, and he went into a group of, he opened up a building that like spawned probably 20, I'm not even lying, it was probably 20 total zombies, and then he got wiped out, and then they all just came after us. It's like we already had enough going on. So yeah, it's fun. Absolutely love the game. So if you want to get into like a miniature zombie game that's focused on mainly just fighting zombies, overwhelming hordes of them, Zombicide is an absolutely fantastic game. So,
that story reminds me of back when we used to play Fortnite with the kids.
Yeah.
And then, somebody is off on the other side of the map. I don't know how they got there.
I remember Rob's famous words, "Where'd you go?"
Yeah. How'd you get over there? And then the revive me.
Yeah.
It's going to take me 2 minutes to like get over there. That's how far away you are.
Yeah. Anyway, wasn't it? It always seems like it was Blake or Damien that was always like off on their own, and then they needed help, and it's like we're on the other end of the map, like you said.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good times. Next, small game. Talked about this one already quite a bit. Excalibur. This has been an absolute huge hit with my game group. Everybody wants this game. There is going to be, I looked it up. There is, now I saw a video and they said like the retail version was going to be cardboard, but there is a deluxe version. So if you go to Roxley's website, you can pre-order the collector's edition, which is the one that I have, which is the really nice version. It's honestly, I would recommend this, but you can pre-order it on their website. You can also just get like the deluxe version, which has like wooden chips instead of the like acrylic plastic chips. So there's a couple versions available. So, but Excalibur is a really fast game. Plays up to 8 people. You're just drawing chips. You're trying to find Excalibur, the sword, and be the last one. And you're trying to figure out, you want to be the one holding it once a section of Avalon, you meet the end game requirements, and you want to be holding on to Excalibur. And people know you've got it. They're going to try to steal it from you by the abilities of the chips that they have. So super fun, plays quick. And then the last game I played, I did play Istanbul, and yeah, that's another fantastic game. Yep. That's a classic in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So let's see. When did this one come out? This was
like 6-7 years ago, something like that.
It's only 2014. So not bad. I guess I thought this was a lot older. So, but yeah, it's a fantastic game. Pegasus Spiel. I also like Istanbul, the dice game, but so both are good. But I did play Istanbul this week. And that is it. Like I said, I got a bunch of games in of like Zombicide and Excalibur, but not. I didn't have a list of like 80 games played this week.
You got quantity instead of quantity.
Quality instead of quantity.
No, you got quantity. Well, maybe also quality instead of quantity. So you got your quantity of games instead of a varying quantity of games.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So moving on, we'd love to hear what you think about anything that we either post online or talk about on the show. Feel free to send us an email at contact@thisboardgamelife. Reach out to us on BGG or leave a comment on our videos that we have up on YouTube. And if you can send us a recording of yourself, and we'll play it on the show. Send it to just use your voice recorder on your phone or something like that, and send your MP3 over to contact@thisboardgamelife. Hey. All right. So let's get on with the news. Here, you want to take these first two, then I'll wrap it up with the 2-3 at the end.
Wow, my first one. Let me try that again because my link failed. All right. So Hachette Board Games USA is bringing, I don't know how to say this. Is it Gigamic or Gigamic? How do you pronounce it?
I've heard both. So
okay.
Either one goes. I would just do Gigamic.
Gigamic. So they're bringing the Push Your Luck game Pirate King to the U.S. market on June 10th. In Pirate King, if you're not familiar with it, is players will act simultaneously flipping over cards from their own personal decks in search of fame and fortune. Each player will start the game with a unique deck based on their choice of captain and can add to their deck during the game. I think that's always a good thing. Collecting swords can enable players to capture creatures that grant special powers, while gathering gold provides the opportunity to draft treasure cards into their deck. Each time a player reveals a card, they must choose either to take the loot or keep drawing cards to get even more, but at the risk of revealing their third skull and going bust. So this is about a 20-minute game, 109 cards and wooden captain token. Retails for about $16.99 US. So look for that June 19th if you are interested. And then this is what I'm finding is the huge news. This is brand new. It's not even like there's not even like major outlets reporting on this yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a tease on Facebook earlier today, and honestly didn't think it was legit. But it looks like it is. Well, I know it is because I actually ended up going. I did a Google search on this later on and actually went to the company's website. But Modifius teased a new game, and it seems as though they're going to be bringing us XCOM the miniature game. They introduced just a tease, which it's just a logo, and you go to their website and you can basically just sign up for email notices when they actually release details. So I did sign up to get notified. I love XCOM. I played that way back in the day, back in the 90s on the PC. And I do have XCOM UFO Defense board game behind me on my shelf here. And I would absolutely love a miniature game of this. So I am really looking forward to seeing what this turns out to be based on one article that I could find from, who is this? Games Radar. They stated that it seems, and I'll quote, it seems as though this is a tabletop war game in the vein of Warhammer 40K. Judging by the logo, it'll also be based on the reboot series that started with XCOM Enemy Unknown in 2012. However, very little else has been shown off. So, I hope it's not something like to the size of Warhammer. I mean, I've watched people in my game store play that, and I'm not going to get into a game that requires me to have tape measures and angles of attack and distances and all that stuff. I would love this if this was something more along the lines of like Worms or Deep Rock Galactic or Nemesis or something like that, a miniature game that you can put on the table and play within 2 hours or something. I'm hoping more of that and not this big huge like Warhammer type of suck your money dry for the rest of your life, because that's a huge investment to that. So I'm hoping
it doesn't
board
all
game.
this stuff do the same thing. They're just
yeah, but they're different.
Minis.
They're different.
Boxes. Yeah,
it's not just one game; it's different. So it's okay.
So
yeah, I will absolutely be letting you know on this channel as soon as we get more information on what this XCOM game is going to be.
Yeah, I just signed up for the email list.
Yeah. I mean, they do. So Modifius does publish RPGs, and they do have board games. They have war games. Let's see what else. So they did do Mass Effect, the board game. Oh wait, no, I don't have that one. I have a different one. I have a different Mass Effect. Oh, no, I do have that one. Yeah, so they made Priority Hagelas, which was a fantastic game. So I do have that one from them. I'd even be okay with that. That if they kind of follow that model, I think that's a little bit. That would make more sense than I think going after something like the war game. It is. They do list it under war games. I'm looking at their site now. So other things that they have listed under war games are Cores, Cthulhu Tactics, Battle Space, Brick Wars, Fallout Factions, The Elder Scrolls Call to Arms. There's a bunch of different things in here, but so let me see what Fallout Factions is. I'm just hoping it's not a huge like a Warhammer type of thing, but
yeah.
It might very well be. because they don't have it listed under board games. They have it listed under war games, and that's I have a feeling it's going to be more like Warhammer, which will keep me out of it, unfortunately. So
I'm looking to see if they sent an email about it. Man, this search stinks.
Yeah.
Inside this email app that I use.
So, well, we'll let you know when we find out more. So.
All right. Then, let's see, where was the list? Here it is. So this was kind of interesting. I don't remember if we talked about it on the show, or you and I might have talked about it after the show last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was we did the last show. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. But there was a Cyberpunk TCG Kickstarter that basically obliterated, totally blew out of the water all of the records. So the Cyberpunk TCG Kickstarter wrapped up a little while ago, and it ended. Let's see, where is it? It raised almost $27 million from over 47,000 backers, which averages out to $565 per backer.
Wow.
That is like bonkers. $565 per backer. Average. So some people did more. Actually, let me see if I can pull up that Kickstarter.
Oh, that's a couple, $2-3.
I hate these things that don't let you copy text because it's like a picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see, pulling up the campaign. Yeah, it was done by Weird Company, by the way. Oh, they're over 28 million now. They were just under it before, and over 50,000 backers. Must have been like some late pledges or something like that. But here, let's look at some of these rewards. It's going very slowly. Cyberpunk, the trading card game. Build your crew. Earn your legend. And I guess let's try a different browser.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's how well things are going here. Yeah, it's not. Oh, there it goes in Chrome. Yeah, it's not loading either. Anyway, that must have been some ridiculous rewards. I'm thinking. Oh, did it load? Oh, yes, it did. Okay, so the entry level is $175. That's one display, 36 beta booster packs. So that must be like a box. Then there's a Netrunner starter kit, $375. Street Cred pack, $535. That's what 9,400 people did. So, the Netrunner starter kit, 22,000 people. So like half the people did the 375. And then let's see what the big ones were. There's the Padres Blessing, $1,035.
Oh.
There were almost 3,000 backers that did $1,000.
Wow.
Then there's an Afterlife package for $2,800. There were 730 backers that did that.
Dude, some people got some money.
That's 2,800. So that includes 6 starter decks, 18 displays, which is 648 booster packs,
Ugh.
2 polyhedral, 6 sets of premium dice, 100 pack of card sleeves, a cloth playmat, a neoprene playmat, a deck box, 1 deck box, and 1 card binder. That's nutty. Oh, but wait, there's more.
There better be.
There's an $8,000
Yep.
one with 79 backers, another one with 19 backers for 8,000. Oh, there's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of $8,000 ones. Wow.
Yeah, there's quite a few that back these 8,000.
Golly. There's a ton of these $8,000 packs that have sold that sold out.
Yeah, because they were limited to 100.
Wow. That's got to be retail, man. That's got to be like retail stores somehow going to break all this down.
Maybe. And as far as I know, this is a new TCG, right? It's not something that is
it's the official Cyberpunk trading card game.
Yeah, and then the $8,000 price, that is a discounted price.
Yeah.
Which is just nutty. Because let's see, what is the full price? 10,519 is like retail. So you're getting 20% off. So I hope the game's good.
Yeah, it better be.
Yeah.
It better be.
But yeah, that was like a ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, I just mean
$28 million.
Like incredible. I don't mean that it's dumb. But that was an incredible campaign. It was the 3rd highest campaign in Kickstarter. There were 2 that were higher. The biggest campaign in Kickstarter history was for a Eufy UV printer, which did 46.5 million with almost 18,000 backers. And there's a surprise 4 secret novels by Brendan Sanderson, which raised 41 million. So they came in 3rd with their, what did I say that it was? 28 million. So that's a lot. It's a lot for cards. But anyway, all right. So then the other thing that I wanted to touch on real quick news-wise that I thought was pretty cool was, I know, Mark, you love your Wingspan and your, Wormspan. I was trying to think of the dragon game. Yeah, Wormspan. And then there's Finspan. You didn't care for Finspan, right?
No, I thought it was okay. My favorite is the Wormspan. I do think that's the best. So.
Oh, really? The dragon one?
Yes. Okay. The dragon one. I like that one the best.
All right. Well, Finspan is getting an expansion called Sharks and Reefs. It's going to be released on June 12th for retailers, and look for it about a week or 2 later when it hits online retailers. So that's going to be an expansion, 1 to 5 players, ages 10 and up. And it does, of course, as an expansion, always usually does, it requires the base game to play. So no word on pricing for it yet. This pack is going to add on, sharks and the fish that inhabit coral reefs. It adds a coral reef habitat to the ocean mat of the core game, as well as sharks with various sharkly abilities. And the players are going to be tasked to build up the reefs so they can play new reef fish, unlock fish abilities, and score bonuses. And then the sharks are there to help feed fish as they leave food scraps behind. So if they're leaving food scraps behind, would that be like fish scraps? I don't know. Who knows? Then the other thing real quick is, there's a lot of games that get tournament play. A lot of TCGs, right? Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. Who knows? Maybe in a year or two, there's going to be the Cyberpunk tournaments and so forth. And Asmodee has ramped up a Azul tournament kit. Actually, it's available via Hobby Next to retailers. So I think that's kind of cool. That Azul is a fun game. Definitely an enjoyable game. A nice, we'll call lighter abstract game that's accessible by most anybody, and it's going to be interesting to see people dueling it out in Azul land. So look for Azul tournaments at a friendly local game store near you, and probably at the conventions, right?
I'd imagine.
They're probably gonna be doing that stuff, maybe for cash prizes. Who knows? But apparently there's Splendor events as well. Makes sense. They're, I'd say, on par with each other in terms of accessibility and fun. But yeah, that's all I had for the news. So let's get on to the main event.
Let's do it.
And with that, I'm actually going to sit up in my chair.
I'm slumped over all like. All right, let's get to it. Let me do
get down to business. Let's get ready for this.
Gateway games.
Yes. So the topic of the day is gateway games.
Hey,
and
kid, you come in. Come on over. Try it. Just try it.
As you pass them the game through the fence.
Yeah.
Through the chain link
fence. It's free. It's okay. Your first one's free.
If my first one's free, can I have Castles of Burgundy Special Edition? Start with that one. Get an expensive one.
Yeah.
That's
not how it works.
Don't start with something small and cheap. But so when you're trying to get people involved with the hobby, there's a lot of considerations that I think you really got to go through. A couple of the things that come to mind, as we've all been there, right? We're going to meet up with friends, family. Let's say it's like a holiday or something, and you're going to bring a game. Everybody's excited. I roll my eyes as I say that. But everybody's excited to play some games, and you're trying to, bring in something that's going to be accessible. So you're trying to think like, should I bring Twilight Struggle? Should I bring Twilight Imperium? Should I bring Diplomacy? Or Advanced Squad Leader? Probably not a good idea for any of those. And a lot of times you have to choose wisely as well, because the game that you choose to introduce people to their first game, or if they're coming over by you, it can make or break if that person will play a second time. Some people are more open to it than others. Other people are like, oh, hell no, never again. Mm-hmm. And, you have to be very careful with that first game. And then if you do it properly, and then the people are open to playing again later on, whether it's same day or another day or something like that, you have to ramp it up slowly because there's a lot of considerations, right, Mark? I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yes.
considerations on, you know, a lot of people are just familiar with the basics. They know Monopoly, they know checkers, they know maybe chess, they know shoots and ladders, all the stuff that, we played as kids or we play with kids. And that's about it. That's where it stops. Some of us older folks maybe also know Trivial Pursuit
Uh-huh.
and some of the other games. But that first game is crucial. So what do you think, Mark? We talk about like the initial introductory, like what is the first game or the first games that we would gravitate towards, and then we'll ramp it up into like, okay, this person is open, they had fun, they enjoyed it, they saw like, hey, this was actually a lot of fun. It's not as painful as playing checkers with my sibling when I was 10. And I'm open to trying more. It's like where we would take them next without scaring them away or overloading them. Because back when I used to play with my wife in days of yore, that was a big consideration that I used to have, because if it was too much, she would like shut down. If it was too complicated, it would be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then you lost them. So let's start off with the basics. So what do you think are some considerations for that first initial game as the original gateway game to get people hooked? It's kind of like we were.
Well, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of great games that we could call gateway games, and I know we broke everything out. Kind of tried to pick different types of games based on mechanics, and so I'm kind of looking at this list of like, where would I initially start? And I think card games is probably the best place to start, and maybe get them, like you said, get them hooked or get them to enjoy something right off the bat, and then kind of branch out to the different mechanics from there. So I think the card game category is probably the best, and one of the things that I got introduced to.
Or you know what? I'll jump in real quick and say,
Okay.
Card games are great as long as they're simple.
Right.
Because there's a lot of card games that are not simple.
Oh yeah.
And then board games that are simple as well, like the ones we kind of briefly touched on before, where the games basically have like two options. You know what I mean? Like those old Euros where it's like you take a piece and you place a piece. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that they can handle. Other than that, it might blow their mind. Like, wait, I have to do three things? Oh, I can't handle that.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry to interrupt. So card games.
Well, I just wasn't sure where you were going the way you kind of stated it. Why don't we just start at the top of our list here? So that might be the best option. So I'm going to look at a tile laying game, because this was Azul was, I think, one of the very first games I got when I got into this hobby. It took a while, because I remember I kept hearing about it as I was investigating it, getting into it, and I'm like, the box is ugly looking. The story on like, oh, you're laying these tiles in the 1800s, whatever it was, 1600s. I don't know. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, you're a tile maker doing the palace in the Moors or something like that.
Something, and it just was like, sounded like that. But the game, I ended up getting it, and oh my goodness, it's awesome. And it is a, I think it's on the easier side. Not the easiest tile laying game we've got here. There's one that's easier, but I think this is a really good one that gets people. If I'm going to take it, I'm not going to tell anybody the story. I'm just going to sit down and teach them how to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's something that the clickety clacky of the tiles, and you're pulling from the market and having your choice and putting them into your board and slotting them into spots, and those types of things add a tactile experience that people who might have just played basic board games like a Monopoly or a Sorry or something like that, just maybe haven't had that opportunity to experience. And you are, instead of like, well, the dice, I rolled the dice or I flipped a card, like, I got to move so many spaces. This is, what do you want to grab from the pot? And I like it because when I first was playing it, I was focused just on trying to meet my goals of getting certain tiles so that I could complete what I needed and getting them in these certain orders. But pretty quickly, maybe like by the third game, I was like already so comfortable with that I started to realize that as the game is going, I need to look at what my opponent is doing and then find ways to kind of hose them, like
block them, basically.
Yeah. And it was something that kind of surprised me when that recognition came in of like, well, that's kind of part of the game. I should be looking and not necessarily leaving them open to, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was interesting because that was like kind of a first in gaming for me. And I was surprised how quickly that realization came into me learning the game. So, Azul, I think, is a fantastic gateway game that for all those reasons.
No, I definitely agree. And it's one of those games where it's a good gateway game. It's not too crazy for new gamers, meaning it's not too overly complicated. As long as you play on that regular side, I'll call it the beginner side versus the more advanced side on the back of the board. So as long as you play on that, and then you sit there and you watch the people, like, no, you can't do it that way. You got to do it this way. You correct them a bunch of times, then they get it. It's a really good intro, and the people that I've played it with as their first game, they've usually wanted to play it again, which is very meaningful. I mean, it says a lot about the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you want in a gateway game. You want something that is easy to learn, that's going to hook people so that they want to play it again. And when they've played that, and when they have that desire to play that first game, something new, and they're like, wow, I didn't know board gaming could be like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you can move on to more gateway games of different types of mechanics and show them all the different variations. It's just not, like you said, roll and move. There's so much more out there.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also with a game like Azul, when they accomplish something, the person that's playing feels like they feel smart in a way. It's like, oh, look at this. I planned this and it actually came together on my board.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, that's so much different than your typical roll and move where it's like, oh, I rolled a 2. Okay. I moved 2 spaces. Then it goes to the next person. That's not as fulfilling, I think.
Yeah.
But another one on the tile laying front that I think is a really great one as a gateway game is Carcassonne. That is a classic.
Yes.
And I'll just say, like, the OG, the base Carcassonne doesn't have to be any of the, ones that came after with any expansions or something like that. Just tile, farmer, roads, buildings, meeple. That's it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that is very simple. Take a tile, place it somewhere, and then one of the rewarding things of Carcassonne is towards the end of the game, it looks pretty cool on the table.
Yeah.
Because, you got that big old map. And, when people get their long roads and stuff like that, they feel like they accomplished something.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into the whole scoring thing.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's what the teacher does.
Exactly. The teacher scores everything. The people just play.
Yep. You got to get them hooked first.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
But kind of like along that line of tile building up like a little map, but a much easier to score is King Domino. That's another really great gateway game that people can get into real simple. And very quickly with that one, you will have player interaction and the fact of it becomes very evident when there's this market of tiles to select from. And depending on which one you select is going to dictate which order you go in on the next drafting. And also seeing, do I want to let someone get these crowns that are there? So you're looking at, maybe I don't have crowns or that desert tile, but there's a 2-crown desert tile there. Do I take it and try to build on that multiplier, or do I grab another forest one, which I got a bunch of? And, it's very simple, but there's a lot of strategy, I think, that goes into it. And again, very quickly, someone can realize that there's a lot more depth than just picking up a tile and placing it down.
Absolutely.
So yeah, King Domino, absolutely, which is probably the original tile laying game that I ever played. I think you actually introduced me to it. It's just fantastic. It's my favorite of the King Domino games. I think it still holds up, and it's just fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. And with this one in particular, as an introductory game, I would sort of evaluate how smart my people were. If they're simpler, I would leave this as a second game. Just because there's a little bit of extra stuff in it. That's all. No other reason.
Yeah. And do you have any other? So I had another tile laying game, but I think I took it off the list because I think it's a little. Again, I want to make sure they're gateway, and I think the other one I had is a step up. Let them get through what we've talked about, then maybe move on to others. But is there any other gateway games for tile laying that you have?
For the introductory ones, there's a ton that come to mind, but the main thing is simplicity, because we want to keep decision making low. Because like I said, we're so used to games and different mechanics and stuff like that. I think we had this discussion like a year or two ago, just about how people that are just getting into the hobby, they're just not used to all the stuff that we are, because we built our way up, right? It's like we're familiar with deck building. We're familiar with like the nuances of how all that stuff works. And then, somebody who's getting into the hobby as an introduction, they don't know all of that. So it's a little overwhelming all at once for them to get all these concepts. Some people are very adaptable, and, they can just pick the stuff up. A lot of people they need a slower walk into it. But, like for introductory games, Dorf Romantic is also another good one, I think. Again, I don't know if I would do that as. I thought my camera was just going to turn off again. It started blinking at me. I'm watching you because it's watching me. Dorf Romantic is maybe a later game, not necessarily the first game that I would introduce, but it would be one of the first, because people usually play it and they're like, "Oh, this is fun. I like this. I had a good time."
Yeah, I think I was thinking Dorf Romantic as well. I think my only thing there is it can get confusing when you bring new content into the game. And it's like, oh, you unlocked it, but then you have to meet obligations to be able to use it. And that's a little confusing, but like just starting out the tile laying and stuff. And it's a really beautiful looking game. Just like Carcassonne, when you get, when you're kind of done
Yeah.
with it, it's like you have such a unique map and it's always different. And, sometimes you might be working on the longest train line or the longest river, or, trying to build up the biggest forest area or the cities. And yeah, it's really cool. I love Dorf Romantic. That game is so much fun. Um, and I think you could get away with that being a gateway game, as long as someone has you got a good teacher. So, but I agree with you. Excellent game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my next ones are going to be engine building / worker placement, and I think I missed the mark here because there's probably easier gate. These are probably would not be considered gateway games, but let me explain why I put them in here. So I'm going to start with my first one, and that's Disney's Villainous, or Star Wars Villainous, or Marvel Villainous. So the Villainous line is something that, based on the IP, like I said, Disney characters, Marvel or Star Wars, that right there is going to appeal to people. So you can get someone hooked just based on the IP, which can be very helpful to get someone to try something new.
Yeah.
Villainous, the issue with this one is that if you're teaching somebody and maybe you got a group of 4 and 3 people are new, the person instructing has to know the game and the characters very well. And the hard part about someone learning is everybody's doing, it's like their own game. Everyone's character, because you play as a specific character. You're going to have your own goals, your own missions, your own win conditions, which is a challenge for someone who's new. You're used to, hey, this is what, 90% of board games out there, here's what triggers endgame, right? We're all doing this to get to this goal. Well, in Villainous, it's different. Everybody has a different objective, different goals, different way to do things. So it can be a bit challenged, but if you have a really good instructor teaching you this game, it can be extremely rewarding.
Like
It
Mark
introduces, yeah. I would not say Mark. Mark is, I think I'm a terrible. I get frustrated because it's like, okay, I know what I'm going to say, and then people are like, how about this? And how about, I'm like, would you let me? I'm getting to that. Like, I'm like, just shut up. Save your questions for the end. But anyways, yeah, if you get a good instructor, not Mark, get Rob to do it. You get introduced to new things like worker placement, moving your character back and forth, like I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the same spot. You have this little board and you're just moving left and right. That's it. And different things are going to trigger. It introduces you to the concept of, what's this icon mean? So and there's only a few for you to learn. So it's not overwhelming. Like some of these bigger games can just be like, okay, here's 2 pages of tiny, 8 size font, of 800 different icons to learn. This one's like, maybe 6 icons or something that you got to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And so but again, the IP, the the simpleness, if you're just playing everything kind of in front of you, there is player interaction, so you can, other people can impact you, you can impact other people. There is a little bit of that. It's not a constant thing, and I think that that's a really good way to bring people in as well. And I think Villainous maybe a heavier gateway game because of, mainly because everyone is playing differently. I think that's the biggest challenge, but I think the strength of the IP can overcome that. And then the other one I had is more worker placement, but also can lead to engine building, is Lords of Waterdeep. Again, this is a Dungeons and Dragons IP, and that can really help bring people in and get them going, ooh, what's this? This was the first time I played Lords of Waterdeep. I was hooked. It was, the whole worker placement thing was brand new to me. I'd never done that. And I absolutely love worker placement games. Mm-hmm. Being able to say, on my turn, I'm going to put a character here, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm either going to take this step, or I'm going to get these rewards, or, whatever it may be. And Lords of Waterdeep does that in a very simple way by having, you're going to go somewhere and basically get rewards, get resources, or get a card, or get some quests. And that's it. You're placing a guy down, you're picking your stuff up. It's the next person's turn. The game can go very quickly once everyone knows what they're doing. Probably the hard part of the game, I think, is understanding the quests. But you don't have to do every quest, you don't even have to worry about the engine building when you're first playing. You're probably not going to win, but to learn the game and the worker placement and the things that it does, that's awesome. You also get the ability to learn, with some player interaction as well. With the intrigue cards, you can affect other people, good and bad. So you can stick someone with, hey, you have to do this quest before you do anything else. Kind of sucks for them unless they've got the resources to complete it right away. Or you can say, hey, I get this, and then I pick another player to get a resource. Or I can say, hey, you guys can pay me 2 gold to also go up by 2 points, or whatever it is. So there's some positive interaction. There's some negative character interaction with the players. And then, once you get the kind of flow of the game and understanding, your quests can give you a little bit of engine building, that when you do another quest of this type, then you gain this. And so I think it's a really good worker placement engine building game that's not overwhelming with the base game, but it can play, if you have the expansion, you can also have 6 people playing, and you'll need another board. There's another board comes with expansion to give you more places to go to accommodate more players, but it's a really good game. And again, the worker placement thing was just like, I love this. This is so cool. So that's why they're in my list.
with Lords of Waterdeep, how would that be for, let's say if it's a person's first foray into this, would that board be too much for them? I know it's very situational depending on the person, right? But the board is rather big.
It is. However, you're really contained. Like the top part has cards on it for a market. Mm-hmm. And you've got, like, on the sides, you've got buildings. So as someone goes to get a building, which only one person can do. Yep. So like someone goes and gets the building and they place it out. Like no one else can do that round. It just, okay, that is off the table. You're still looking at this, like the middle of the board of where to place your workers. Then the bottom is like more cards and your little meeple. So you're still, it is a big board, but I think you're not using all of it per se. And the places you're putting your workers are kind of spread out. So I think we just played this not long ago with some new people, and they really had a great time with it and picked it up very easy as well. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay.
But now Absolutely. these people were gamers. It's just they hadn't played that game before. But
So
I
it's
still
just
think
new to
it's
them.
something
Yeah.
that, like I said, both of these are a little bit maybe not gateway for Villainous and Lords of Waterdeep. They're probably the next step over gateway, but I really couldn't think of a good gateway game in this particular category.
So how about if we try to categorize or to assign levels to it? So level 1 is totally brand new to the hobby. They're like, wait, there's games other than Monopoly? I didn't know.
Well, that's what I know we were trying to give here.
Yeah. So level 2 would then be somebody who's played some of those level 1 games, and then they're maybe looking, or they're open to seeing what's next, or they're interested in it, or they had enough arm twisting by us to actually show up for level 2, because we want to get them out of level 1 because we're all bored with level 1. We want to get him into level 15. we gotta go up the ranks there. So like level 1 is super new. Level 2 is they've played a little bit of level 1. Then level 3 is maybe at the point of where this is really fun. I want to do this like regularly. Level 4 might be like they're starting to buy their own of stuff that you know what I mean? It's like, maybe that's like the 4 levels of gateway, or just getting into the hobby.
And I think Villainous and Lords of Waterdeep are that last one where people are going to play these and go, I want these. They're going to buy them.
So would you say that's like level 4 of what I just said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it's tough. It's not something I wouldn't take a Monopoly player and put him at the. However, with that said, I do have a guy in our group who joined 6 months ago. He showed up and he was like brand new to the group, and he was brand new to gaming. He was like, well, I've played Monopoly. Like that was his experience. And we were playing, I can't think of the name of it. Was it Brink? No, I don't think it was Brink. No, Andromeda's Edge. We were playing Andromeda's Edge that night. That was his first introduction to, like, we jumped him way up. But we had a guy who, because we ended up with one extra player, we had a guy that has a lot of experience, and he's like, oh, I'll play it with you. I'll show you how to play. So he guided him through. So he had a guy very experienced teaching him and helping him to make decisions. And he is growing his library and all that. And so, yes, I wouldn't normally start someone out with Andromeda's Edge.
Yeah.
But, it does depend on the situation, like you said.
So, if we were trying to introduce our grandma to it, and, her experience was with bingo for years.
So what engine building or worker placement game would you recommend for that?
See, again, it depends on which level we're talking about, right? So I would almost say for most people, if they're totally green on the hobby, they have no idea that it exists. Like a coworker, a neighbor that we have, just somebody out of the blue. There are people that can handle it. There's a lot of people that can't. They just get overwhelmed. They gloss over, like, trying to explain how to use the VCR to grandma back in the day. And it's like, the triangle is play. Okay, so how do you start it? I don't know. But I don't know. I would say like a worker placement game would be a little more advanced than like an introduction game. It would be like, we'll say like a level 2 or 3. It would, if it's worker placement, I would want it to be like very simple.
cities might follow in here.
Yeah, actually, that one is you're right. Cities would be a good one. That is like extremely light, where you have your dudes and you place them. It's interesting enough where, you're building your own thing, which is new to people, which they probably will think it's cool.
Yep.
You're building your neighborhood, and then you just got that tiny bit of extra stuff of managing your different biomes, I'll call them, and also your skyscrapers. And plus, it has the added benefit of looking cool, even though it's really small. It's like, what, 3x3?
Yeah.
Or would that fall under tiling? It's a mix of both, technically.
It's got several little things going in.
But worker placement works for that.
But you're that's your main thing, because you're putting your workers where you want to, what activity you want to do, or what you're grabbing. So yeah, I think that would be a great one to select for a gateway game to worker placement, at least.
Yeah. So want to go to the next grouping here?
Sure. Deck building.
So let me just jump in real quick and say something. So the thing that I would consider with deck building as a gateway game is what the person's or what the people's experience is with card games in general. And what I mean by that is, if somebody has had experience with Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, anything like that, any kind of card game, that opens things up. Because they already have some experience that will make deck building games easier. If they don't have any of that, then definitely I would want to keep it like very simple.
Yeah.
For a first go. One of the games that we've got in our list is Dominion. For an introductory game, I think Dominion is cool because it is something that people have never seen before. Most people haven't. That deck building thing can kind of blow their mind, and they're like, this is really cool. This is really interesting. Let me play it again. If I do Dominion, it would have to be base set.
Yes.
No expansions. And then I would even say, like, play it. It's been so long since I played Dominion, I don't remember what they have in the manual. But if it tells you play your first game with these cards, I would do that.
It does state that, yes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It gives you the ones to use, and it's the very simple pairing of the cards that work together.
Yeah.
And then, the people need to play that a couple of times, just because deck building is something that most people haven't seen. If all they're used to is roll and move and checkers, chess and all those, bingo, backgammon. If that's all they're used to, this will kind of blow their mind, but hopefully in a good way.
I'm going to grab one.
Grab one what? Dominion?
I'm sliding something over here.
A dog?
No, mine for my recommendation of a deck builder. Anything else for Dominion?
No, I would just say do Dominion base, and then once that is received well, then you can kind of ramp it up and do something else like Ascension or what's that space one? That space deck builder from White Wizard.
I don't know.
Star Realms.
Oh, Star Realms.
Thanks for nothing, Mark. Star Realms. And Star
So
Realms is kind of a stretch. I think Dominion's probably easier.
yeah.
But what were
Well,
you going to say?
another really good one to begin with is Summer Camp. This
Okay.
was even a Dice Tower Seal of Excellence award. This is a very basic deck building game, 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. But it's fun because it's summer camp. So if if you've ever been in the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, um, or done any kind of scouting, I know it's Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts here in the United States, but it's like going back to summer camp and you're earning badges and doing different things as you progress and build your deck. So it has a really fun for kids that might be at that age doing those things, and it's also very nostalgic for adults who have gone to summer camp as kids and have done those activities. So, and it actually has like these modules that you can select which ones you want to put in the game, and it's a really fun deck builder, and I would highly recommend that for people starting out.
And
So
I think you bring up something. I mean, you mentioned this with summer camp, and I think it also applied to Villainous. Is if you can tie something in that people are already familiar with, whether it's Villainous with the characters, summer camp with, we went to camp. If there's that familiarity, there's that anchor that makes the receiving the game and learning the game a little easier for folks, and sometimes even more interesting.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Where in a game like my other recommendation for deck builders, Clank.
Mm-hmm.
um, Clank was actually my first deck builder,
Okay.
and I absolutely love Clank. I think what I like about it, so Dominion is just a straight deck building.
The
That's it.
OG.
That's all there is. There is no board. You're not moving. You are just, I mean, and for me, I learned deck building with Clank, where you're playing your whole hand. And Dominion is you play a card, buy a card.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the card you play gives you more actions, you're done.
Yep.
You were playing one card out of your 5. So when I first went to Dominion, I was like, this makes no sense. I kept playing all my actions, and people kept saying you can't do that. And I was like, why not? Because
The rules,
I came from the Clank world of deck building. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I do like Dominion and how you really have to think about what you're doing, and then you have to really pay attention to what's in your hand and when it's going to come up again, because I many times in Dominion I'm pulling something like, man, I want to play both of these but I can't, so which one is going to be the best for me to play at this point, and hopefully the other one will come up later. But with Clank, you're playing all your cards and you're getting to do the movement, and now you have a board and you're going to go down. So now there's like this story of everyone's at the top. You're going to go underground, from the base Clank. You're going to go, and then you're going to go like deeper underground, and you're trying to get the loot. You're trying to get this loot, and when you grab I forgot what it's called, but when you grab like a main piece of loot, then and you can only carry one unless you go to the little market to buy a backpack and let you carry 2 of them. But when you do grab these things, you're going to anger the dragon, and you are making noise, which is why they call it clank, because we're walking around clanking in our armor and stuff like that. So we're making noise. You're putting these little cubes on the board, and when you upset the dragon or disturb the dragon by stealing their treasure, you take these cubes, you put them in a bag, and then you have to draw out so much depending on how angry the dragon is, and then the dragon will attack you and you take damage. So you want to go down, get your treasure, and get back out, but you want to get as many points as you can but also get out. And it's just it takes that deck building and kind of adds the board gaming piece with a little story around it, and it now adds like the sense of danger with like the dragons attacking me, and oh, Rob got to the crown before I did, so now I got to go over here to pick up this, this whatever the other item is, some other piece of loot. It's fun, and there's restrictions on the board, like some tunnels are one way, some have monsters in them, and you got to have swords in your hand to fight the monsters. And so it takes like that Dominion and then just kind of adds on to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something that's so difficult that you still couldn't use Clank as a gateway game. So I absolutely love it, and I think it's just a fantastic, good introduction to deck building as well.
Oh, absolutely. Move on to the next one here.
Sure.
So there's a whole slew of games that are hidden role.
Yeah.
So how about it? Battlestar Galactica is the intro. Yes. What do you think? I was thinking about this the other day. I was sure you were going to talk about that today.
It's right here.
Spoiler.
I should have just put it in like front of my face when we first started. Just that's it. Just sit here and hold it and hug it all night.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I did get a copy of Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
and while Rob keeps talking, I'm going to go grab it just to show it off.
Yeah, there's.
I'm not sure if you can see it in camera, but it is right there.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Mark, he had a great love for Battlestar Galactica now for a while, ever since he played it. Yeah, look at that. He was holding it in front of the camera for those of you that are on audio. But yeah, he's loved this game ever since he played it the first time. And then that inspired him to watch the actual show. And you know what? I just saw a statistic on the show that came out in 2003.
Yeah.
23 years ago. That's like ridiculous that it's that old.
So I played the game, inspired me to watch that show, the miniseries, and then the 4 seasons of the show that was rebooted in early 2000s. And I got this game this weekend, and I went back and I bought Battlestar Galactica's Blood and Steel and Pegasus, I think it's called Pegasus, which were like 2 1-hour or 2-hour spin-offs of that Battlestar Galactica, of the reboot. And then I went and watched the original 1978 movie, which spun off the season of Battle. And I'm now watching the original series. Which is terrible, but it's still good.
and then I don't know if it was part of it. They came to Earth. Make sure you catch that one. I think it was like a reboot in the early 80s.
Oh, I'll have to go look for that.
Make sure. I don't know if it's part of the original series or if it has a separate name, but they finally came to Earth, and then they had these like motorcycles that could fly, and then they would fly the Vipers into a park, and then it would like cloak itself and go invisible. Then you'd see like the person jogging, and they'd like, boonk. They hit their head and they get knocked out because they just ran into a Viper or something like that. But yeah, that was Battlestar coming to like late 80s or United States, Los Angeles, probably in particular. And there was a spinoff that did not last very long. I don't know if it's out there. It's called Caprica. You can probably watch that. It's a spinoff of the reboot.
Oh, okay. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah. But anyway, so hidden role, there's quite a few games. We just mentioned Battlestar and Unfathomable. I can
Unfathomable, yeah. So that's the same game as Battlestar Galactica, the board game. It's just a Cthulhu IP, but it's essentially the same game. uh,
once they
and that
lost
one
the
is available in
Battlestar IP.
print.
Yeah. In fact, I just saw it at one of my game stores the other day. I was looking at it. I'm like, yeah, not the same. It is the same, but not the same. Could you technically just, you know, cross out like the monster, like the Lovecraft monster, and then just write in like Cylon, just with Sharpie
Probably,
everything? It's a Battlestar. I don't know.
probably.
But
So
yeah, as far as a gateway game, um, you know, there's two that kind of stick out in my mind immediately, and one of them is Coup. That's a great introduction to people for people, but larger groups, it's not necessarily something that is necessarily doable with two people. But there's Coup and there's also Werewolf. I know a lot of people love this. Love these games. You know, Werewolf is more, I'll call it old school. Coup is newer, maybe not as popular as Werewolf. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But those are great introductions to people. I don't know if it gives them the real board game experience, or at least Werewolf doesn't. Coup does more because it's got the cards, or more cards.
yeah.
But yeah, those are good intros, and I'll say level 1 intro as well. Then you had one more. You want to talk about that one?
Did I?
Love Letter?
Oh yeah, Love Letter. This is like super easy. It's really fun. You know, everybody, you get a card that no one, you know, gives you a roll, and you're basically trying to find the princess. You're trying to win the favor of the princess, and um, it's just real simple. You like draw a card and play a card, and so you have one and you start with, you draw it, and then you're playing a card and trying to basically, you know, wipe everybody else's cards out, you know, and I think you're just trying to be the last one with the highest card number, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
to win the favor of the princess. So, but it's really neat. Some of the cards have an ability that, you know, will protect you, and things like that. So really, really simple, very small. In fact, mine's sitting right here, and it's even in a little. It's in a little
Yeah.
velvet bag.
Is that the
And
original, or is that like Batman or whatever?
no,
There's like so many versions of it now.
no, it's Love Letter. It's the you
The
know
Ichi.
the so there's the cards, and then there's a little baggie with the little tokens in it that you're just trying to get. But I think it's like 16 cards in the game. I think that's all it is. Oh no, maybe it's 21. So, but yeah, 21 character cards. So you start with one. It's real simple, but it's a lot of fun, and you're trying to guess, you know, figure out who's who and what cards are going to be played. And there's only so many of each type of card. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was my first hidden roll game, and I really like it. So,
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. We've got you know, card games come in so many different flavors, and a whole ton of them are actually really good as intros.
yes.
So yeah, we've got a couple of those listed out. We'll call them out by the different mechanics that they use. So card shedding is one of them that I think is really easy for people to pick up as gateway games. So
This
what
is
do you
like,
think of when you think shedding?
I think of Scout. And this is my favorite mechanic with cards. Like, I'm not a fan of trick taking, but I love card shedding for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just trying to dump and find that opportunity time to dump stuff, and you know how to play them. And yeah, that's, I think Scout is a perfect game for that. It's got a little bit of trickery to it, in the fact of, or not trickery, but uniqueness, like when you get your card, your hand dealt out to you, you have to keep it that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't rearrange it. And then there's like numbers on the top and numbers on the bottom, and it's like at some point, I'm trying to remember, it's been a long time since I played, but I think you can flip the cards to play them, the other, play the other numbers or something. I'm trying to remember. Hopefully I'm not mixing. Let me pull up a picture and make sure I'm not mixing it. No, yeah, there's 2 numbers on it. But you gotta, like, so when you're playing a card, then it will bring others together. So like if you've got, a 7 and 8, a 4 and a 9, you gotta get that 4 played before you can have play your 7-8, your run of a 7-8 or 9, things like that. And yeah, it's really unique, and I really enjoy this game a lot. It's really a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned trick taking. So I think a lot of people are used to this because they might have played various card games that are trick takers. Right?
Probably.
Isn't Hearts a trick taker?
Probably.
Or Spades or whatever. No, Hearts is trick. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. But my one I have enjoyed is Skull King. That one I think is a pretty fun one to play, not to score. Use the app. That one can be a little tricky on scoring, but I think it's one that's like easy. I feel like it's an easier trick taker for people to kind of understand. I've played some that just like, what? Like the way the rules are, it's like you don't want to win, and then on the first 3 rounds, then you want to win after that. It's like it's just some weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. But Skull King, I think, is pretty straightforward with the exception of the scoring. Another one, I was just thinking of it, and it's already left my head. But there's the one you and I just picked up last year.
I picked up a lot of games last year. That's not
Panda Spin.
Oh yeah.
But that's not I think we said that was a card shredder too, right?
Shedder, yeah.
Shedder, and not a trick taker. I think this one is a card shedding as well.
It's like the opposite, isn't it? Kind of. Or
let me see what they say. It's a set collection: hand management, ladder climbing, melding, and splaying. So they don't list it as either, because you're still trying to win the trick or the hand, right? To get points. So I think it's more of a spin-off of trick taking. I think. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because it's designed by Carl Chuddick, which
that blows your mind.
It's just I can't handle it. The cards are gorgeous though.
yeah, they are. They're like foiled, beautiful art on them, little dragons and stuff like that. Whereas, some of the other ones that he does are rather, I'll call plain.
Yeah. Like innovation. As Rob is looking on his shelf.
Or Matinai.
Yeah.
Another one. Oh, innovation. Yeah, it's somewhere over here. Actually, it's not up in the front. It's behind one of the front games now. But yeah,
it's up in the back where it belongs.
Yeah, there's just so many different card games out there. A lot of them are acceptable as intro games because people are used to handling cards, and that's if they're interesting enough to let people have an experience that's what I'll call extraordinary, meaning not like they've had in the past. That's what it'll inspire them to go, what else you got? Right? That's our favorite thing that we hear. And then thinking of like regular card games, I know one that you introduced me to that's, I think, still it's a newer game, but it's a fantastic game. That's Flip 7.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, Flip 7 is an awesome game. It's fun, plays quickly, easy to teach, and easy to pick up easily, and a level 1 gateway game
Yep.
that you can introduce to anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah,
What
another
other
one
ones?
that's
Yeah.
a level 1 is Don't Llama. It's again, it's you got to hit your shedding cards. It is a card shedder, but
Mm-hmm.
you start with a hand of cards numbered 1 to 6, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. I think it's 1 to 6, and then the llama. There's a llama cards, and you play a card. And that's it. You have a card that's available on the table, in the discard, and you have to play that number or one higher, and that's it. And if you can't do that, you have to draw a card into your hand, and you're trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand. So it's super simple. If there's a 1 there, you can play a 1 or a 2. If there's a 2, you can play a 2 or 3, all the way up to a 6, 6, 6, or a llama, and then a llama wraps back around to you play a llama or a 1. So that's just it. You're just trying to get rid of the cards, get down to as few points as you can, and it's scored based on, like, if I have a hand of 5 1s in my hand, I could actually pass, and I'm going to score 1 point, because you score the value of the card, but only for one of the cards. So if you have 5 1s in it, that just count. It doesn't count as 5 points; counts as 1 point. So then you're like, I'm out. But if you can get rid of all the cards in your hand, then you can send a point or a chip. So there's 2 chips in the game. There's white chips and black chips, and I think the white chips are worth 1 point and the black chips are worth 10. So like when you get 10, you swap it out. Now, if I'm sitting here with 11 points and I clear my hand, I can send that 10-point chip back, and now I only have 1 point. And the object is to be the lowest amount of points. As soon as someone hits 40, that triggers the end of the game. So it's super simple. It plays really quick, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, another one, Six Nymph. It's a classic game. No Thanks.
Yep.
Another one.
Yeah.
I've done No Thanks as the gateway game. Actually, we would do No Thanks, and then we would do Azul after that.
Yeah.
That's actually what we wanted to do.
My mother likes No Thanks, and she's good at it. She's very good at it. So that's another thing too. If you're teaching someone, here's a little tip, okay? A little pro tip from this board game life. If you're teaching someone and you want to get them interested into the board game world, you don't have to let them win, but
it helps.
focus on their enjoyment. Like I don't set out to lose, but my goal is to teach them how to play the game. And if I see them playing something wrong, even if it's going to hurt me, I will be like, hey, I recommend you do this instead. It's about teaching them the game. You're going to turn them off if you just slaughter them. If you're not really teaching them, just like, yeah, it's an easy win for me. That's not going to turn someone into a gamer. Nope. They're not going to like the experience. Teach the game. Teach it right. Even if it means you lose. So what? If they get a little, hey, I won, that's good. Because they're like, hey, this isn't, because that institutes into their mind too, this isn't so hard. Or I liked that. Or, hey, I didn't think I was doing good, but I ended up winning. Okay, I guess I did better. Those are the types of things that's like, again, kind of like we're calling it a gateway game. Like, I mentioned earlier, hey, kid, here, take your first one's free. Like a drug, there's gateway drugs. We're talking about gateway games, getting people into the hobby. You want to get them hooked, right? Yep. Don't beat them up. Let them have that experience. Doesn't mean you got to let them win. You don't want to, because then that, if you're just letting them win, they're going to know that. But teach them, and if you see them doing something wrong, even if it's at your detriment, help them to do better, so they understand.
Yeah, and just to add to that real quick, I really like playing open games as the first game. And what I mean by that is everything's on display. There's nothing that's hidden. And then I'll usually explain my turn and go, okay, I need to do this. So I'm going to take this card because of this reason, and I will play it here to do this and receive this. And then when it's their turn, I'll look at what they have and I'd say, like, you probably want to do this with this card so you get that, which sets you up for, you just sort of explain out the reasoning, because that's the difference between a person who's never played and us with experience. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So if you can ramp them up quicker, you can either wait 2 games for them to figure it out, or you can kind of turn it into they can get up to speed in half of the first game and then enjoy it a lot better. But anyway.
All right.
So next up, we've got auction games. Some people might be into this. I would say some auction games might be more like level 2 or up. But what do you think about these, oddly enough, Reiner Knizia games?
Oh yeah, they both are, aren't they?
Yes. He does like his auctions.
So I think Money is a really good one. This was recently reprinted last year, I think, from All Play. It's a small box game. This one's a really nice, very easy game, I think, to get into auctioning. My first experience to an auction game was Raw, and I think that one's a really good one as well. It's probably not, again, it's probably that level 4 gatewayer because of it being an auction game, but it's also one that I think people are going to play and go, okay, I like this. I've played some auction games. I typically don't like auction games. Mm-hmm. It's not my thing.
I know what you mean.
Raw is phenomenal. And I really like Raw. I feel like it's something that anyone can play. It's like, that's why I put it up here as a kind of a gateway. I think it's something that, if you've got a gamer who's been a little introduced to some stuff, they've not played an auction game, this is one that I can think you can introduce them to an auction game. And it's a really good one. And it's not super hard. And it's fun digging in the bag and pulling the things out. Again, there's that whole tactile thing. You got this big giant bag of either wooden tokens or acrylic tokens, whichever, depending on the version you got. And it's just a lot of fun. And the pieces are big and chunky, and you've got these other things you're collecting, and there's quite a bit of symbology to it, or iconography. But that's why, again, you don't want to hit up a new one right off the bat with this. But after someone's got some mechanics and they want to learn an auction game, I think they could handle it. So that's Raw.
Actually, you just made me kind of think of something. Let me ask you this. So of these games that we've talked about, and some more that we're going to be touching on in a little bit here, a lot of these games are old games, right? They're games that are like 15 plus years old. Now, we could say that they're classics, and we could also say that they are from a simpler time where games weren't necessarily all as complicated or complex as they are now. At least a lot of the Euro games, well, I'll say Euro as a generalization, those tend to be a lot simpler than your more thematic games.
So you're referring to games like Tigris and Euphrates, right? Very simple.
Technically, it is.
Orleans.
Well, it's not as old, but like Ra's old. Like, isn't it like 25 years old now or something like that? No,
yeah, I just got a reprint from 25th Century Games like last year. So
yeah, because like of the ones that we talked about, Dominion is like 20 years old.
Ra's 1999.
Yeah, so that's 26, 27 years old. Money's close to that. No Thanks,
Yeah.
6 Nimmt, all really old. And
That's a good point.
yeah, older games, especially like older Euro games, older abstracts, tended to be simpler. It was more like you have 3 things and you have 2 actions, and that's what you do. You decide which actions you want to do, turns over, repeat, cycle through the users, repeat. Versus some of the newer games now, which are more advanced, where you have literally 20 different options in front of you on what to do. Yes. Mark's adding to the list. Oh, no, not a good first.
We'll save that for the last.
That'll be the dessert for the list. But yeah, it's just, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, older games tend to fall into the category of gateway games a little bit easier than some new games. Granted, there are simple new games as well, like Flipside.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
all right. So
next one.
What? Rolling right, flipping right, drafting right, drawing right, whatever, writing right. I think anything will fall into this. We'll just call it rolling right. But I think this, my first one you introduced me to was Welcome to Your Perfect Neighborhood. I think it's a fantastic game.
Well, I introduced you to it, but you couldn't play it.
Oh, that's right. You introduced my kids to it.
Yes, because you were too seasick.
Oh, we don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah,
dude, I get ill just thinking about that day.
Yeah, that fateful day.
Oh, anyways,
if you've never been seasick, you don't want to be, because I've been. Mark's been. It gets you for days.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it was my kids that ended up teaching it to me after you taught them. And Welcome to Your Perfect Neighborhood is a really good game. I think it might be, it's not hard, but I think there's a lot of things going on. It's a simple game, but there's a lot of things. But it's really, it makes a lot of sense. Like this game and the way it's designed, this neighborhood and your houses need to be numbered in order. And, you got certain places that can have a pool, and you got, you're marking your parks off. So everything makes like logical sense. And even the scoring, couple things can be a little bit more beyond basic, I think. But again, if you have a good teacher, like I always had in Rob, it makes it a lot easier to understand and help you to understand the game. But it's a really good one to learn with. That's on a flip and right. And then my one of my favorites is Dungeons, Dice, and Danger. This is a little dungeon crawler. Everyone gets a piece of paper and a pencil, and you go around the table. Who's the active dice roller? And like you're rolling. I think you're rolling 5 or 6 dice. I think 4 are white dice, and then like 2 are black. And like the active player can like use the black dice, but the others have to use an ability if they want to use those black dice when they're not the active player. But you're trying to get numbers to move in on this map and attack the monsters and get treasures, and ultimately, get to the center and defeat all the monsters and just have the highest score. But it plays quick, it's easy to learn, and it's a lot of fun. So that's Dungeons, Dice, and Danger as well.
What do you think about the music one?
What music one? Draft and Write Records?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
Is that too much for a gateway?
Probably. I think that would be another level.
Level
so
4.
I tried to teach that recently, and it kind of went south, but we were on a very strict time limit. Yeah. The store was closing type of thing. So I didn't get a lengthy teach. But Draft and Write Records is a fabulous roll and write game, or a flip and write. And it's probably my overall favorite, but I wouldn't put that as a gateway game. Get these other 2, and then step up to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Press Your Luck is a pretty easy one. There's various levels of this that I think are pretty good. You want to talk about this one?
I put one in here called Can't Stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's super
Awesome.
easy, super fun, really good game, and you are rolling your dice, pressing
I
your
guess it's a
luck,
roll and move, isn't it?
Okay, so
sort of.
but
no, it is Press Your Luck. It absolutely is.
But it is a roll and move, and
Yeah.
so that's why it's an amazing gateway game, because someone who's used to roll and move, that they get that concept already.
Yeah.
So now they're just learning about pressing your luck a bit. So
yeah,
it's
they
it takes them off that square board and puts them onto a octagon shaped board, like a stop sign.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's a whole bunch of those. My favorite Press Your Luck is Port Royale or Port Royal.
That's good,
but that one is iffy on if it's maybe that would have to be like a later game, not necessarily a first introduction.
Let's see. Let me see if this is a pressure. I think it would be. Well, they don't list it as a Pressure Luck, but it's another roll and move, but I guess it's more of a take that. But Jamaica.
Okay.
I kind of think of it could be kind of a Pressure Luck because of you're rolling and there's different paths that you can take around the island. Some are shorter, some are longer, and you're charting out like where to land. And I think you could press your luck by, going down the shorter path and trying to jump ahead, or going slower and trying to, maybe avoid hitting, like paying the tolls. If you go to you got to be careful. Like you got to have food and you got to have coin for the ports, or if you're at sea, you got to be able to feed your people. And so I kind of feel it's got a bit of pressure. Like I think it's more of obviously my own interpretation and not a legit, but I think Jamaica is a good one to kind of maybe fit in this category for gateway games.
Okay.
So, then there's got to be a million of these games, and I just called it chaining. But one of my favorites is Super Mega Lucky Box. You mentioned your grandma with bingo, right? This is bingo. You're flipping a card and it has a number on it, and you have like 3 little bingo cards that you start out with in front of you, and if you check off that number on one of them, and it's like a 3x3 bingo card, and then on one side and on the bottom is bonuses. So if you complete a row, you get to check off a bonus. If you complete a column, you check off a bonus. And sometimes that's another number, which lets you go into another card, or maybe on that card to check that off. Oh, hey, look, I completed another column or a row. There's another bonus. You're chaining. Sometimes you're trying to chain as many things as you can. Also, like we mentioned, draft and write records would also be in this group as well, because you're trying to do things to chain. So on your turn, instead of just checking one thing, as the game progresses, you're checking this, and then it leads to this, and then that leads to this one and this one, and it gets really fun. Much like a Hadrian's Wall, which that's not a gateway game, but again, things are where you're trying to keep chaining and getting your turns basically get longer and longer as you go, because you're getting more things to do. So, but Super Mega Lucky Box, quick game, simple game, a lot of fun, and I highly recommend this.
Okay. And then one style that I think is pretty easy for most people to pick up, and there's one game that comes to mind under this particular, category, is network and route building. What do you immediately think when you hear route building? Don't think Carcassonne. That's different kind of route.
It
starts with a T.
Trying to build supply routes from Moscow to Cuba, so I
Yeah.
immediately think of Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, there you go. Now, a Ticket to Ride. This is, for a lot of
Otherwise
people, this
known
is a
as
go-to.
the train game.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone calls it the train game.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Because
I'll bet you there's people that don't know the official title to it.
oh yeah, because what people will say is, "Hey, could you bring that train game next time you come over?"
Well,
Yeah, that's what they say. And this game is easily, well, I guess there's one other one. There's two games that are usually people's first introduction to board games lately, at least to the hobbyist games. There's Ticket to Ride and there's Catan, usually. Ticket to Ride, super easy to teach, super easy for most people to pick up. You could say it's abstract, you could say it's not, but you're just basically connecting different parts of the map. You got your cards, build certain routes, easy, classic, usually guaranteed to be a hit. This is like the safe one to start.
Yes.
Easily.
With I think there are over 35 million copies sold at this point. There's a reason this game is still in print, and it's got multiple different versions of this game. So you can name a country, they probably got a Ticket to Ride in that country. You know, so there's a legacy game. There's the larger Rails and Sails, which is my family's favorite. There's the OG, which we play that most of the time. There's Europe there, and then there's all these little box ones of like Ticket to Ride San Francisco, where it's just San Francisco's little trolleys, and
it's the lighter version.
New York, London, and so there's a million of these freaking games out there. For a reason. It is a fun game, and it's easy for people to learn and get into, and
and we just got to suck it up and bring it to the table and play it.
I like the game.
No, I
enjoy it.
It's good.
My daughter loves it. She normally kicks everyone's butt at it. It's unbelievable.
But that's good if she wants to play.
Yeah.
It's quality gaming time. And she's probably not crying.
So that leads us, Rob, into the final game that I added last minute.
So we should preface this and say, what should you absolutely not at all bring to a gateway game session?
Well, it does hit the marks of, it is basically play a card and do something, right?
Simple game.
It's absolutely, it's a Euro game. It's a simple game. It's very easy to learn. It does have 3 stages, so it does introduce you to different, having different levels or stages in the game. But this is what a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people would classify this as a mean game. And so like Rob said, this is not a gateway game because a lot of your new people will be angry about it because they would consider it mean. And that's the downfall of Pompeii. It's a fantastic game. And Rob and I have talked about taking the people and dropping them in the volcano is so satisfying. But I've taken it to regular gamers and my gaming group, and it has not gone over well. Some people did not like it because it's mean. I'm like, come on. So you got to be with the right mindset of people.
Oh yeah.
So
that, that brings up a thing of, the games that you introduce people to, you have to consider the audience. Like, there's our mutual friend, Luke. He loves mean games. Like, that's his favorite. Like, he takes great joy in mean games. Maybe that says something about his personality. I don't know. For somebody like Luke. That, for somebody like that, maybe a mean game might be okay. But for most people, you want to stay away. And there's tons of games out there with at least some form of conflict, and some of them are unexpected because we normally don't think that there's a lot of conflict in there, but maybe with games that you're going to be introducing people, do something that's more cooperative, do something where the people are kind of like playing on their own board, right? What they call multiplayer solitaire.
Yeah.
Those things might be more accessible to folks. And think about who you're playing with, think about the group, what kind of person they are, and if you bring something like Downfall of Pompeii, you will find out what kind of person they are. And I'll probably never play with you again. Unless it's me and Mark. We would play.
Yes, we will.
And Luke. We'd play it and then ask to play it again.
Yeah. Could I have some more? All right.
Yeah, I just pulled up a list of mean games. There's some interesting games in here. Ones that I never really would have thought would be mean. Like, for example, Coloretto is listed as a mean game. Hey, That's My Fish. Have you ever played that one?
No.
It's like where you got these penguins on ice floes and you're, I guess it's like you're trapping people. It's where a game where you do something that negatively affects someone else and causes them to lose stuff. I guess that's the premise of a mean game, which is what Downfall of Pompeii is. Yeah, there's Flux games are mean. What were you going to say?
I don't consider those mean, but I get it. My favorite mean game is Plunder: A Pirate's Life.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
Yeah, Saboteur. Innovation is considered a mean game. Okay. Survive, Escape from Atlantis. Yeah, I could see that. That's a fun little game too. Anyway, so that, were you going to say something?
No, I'm saying that wraps it up, right?
Yeah. It's we're 2 hours in. Look at that. We just crossed the 2 hour mark. How about that? It's been a while, like at least one episode since we did that.
I know.
But
so let's hit our crowdfunding corner and then call it a night.
Yeah, so that was our list of games and considerations and different styles that you might want to think about when you bring over to your gateway game night with friends, family, or whoever else that you game with, your neighbors, your game group, etc. And if you have any other recommendations that we haven't talked about, please let us know. We'd love to hear it. So with that said, let's talk about what we've crowdfunded lately. So what have you done, Mark?
So I'm going to premise this with this note that this game has changed publishers, because I have said before I would not crowdfund any CMON game. And this IP used to be owned by CMON, but is now owned by Fantasy Flight Games. And that is Zombicide: Dead Men Tales. So I have backed that one. And the other one, call me a glutton for punishment, Rob, but I did back River Valley Jewelcraft.
Okay.
Why? Because I have River Valley Glassworks. Don't you have to have them all?
Nope.
So Rob says nope. Well, I can say that to your selection. So okay. I have proudly said I did not back that, and I have been fighting that. So I'm really hoping that one ends soon before I weaken. What is that you've backed?
I backed a 2-for-1. So that's Earth Express and Behind the Lens. So that is what Earth Express is, a lighter version of Earth. Yeah. And then Behind the Lens is its own little thing there. But it's, when I say 2-for-1, that's one campaign, 2 games. So it makes it easier. plus shipping,
Yeah.
maybe.
I honestly, I mean, I looked at this, but I'm in the midst of purging. I've actually been selling stuff. I
Hmm.
found out BG Geek Market. I've been very successful in selling some games through there.
Yeah.
While we were recording, I had someone send me payment for another game that I'll be
Oh,
shipping out in the
nice.
morning. So, but yeah, I've got I think a lot of more stuff I'm gonna sit here and get rid of. And I looked at Earth. I love Earth. I absolutely love this game. And I was like, well, why would I buy the this is gonna sound familiar. Why would I buy the simple version, when I would want to play the big one? But I said that about Arc Nova and Sanctuary, and I will pull Sanctuary out any day of the week over Arc Nova just because
Hmm.
it's easier to get to the table. And Earth Express would be the
Yes.
same thing. So I'm trying to, yeah, what, let's see, when does this end? I got 9 days. I'm probably going to cave within the next 9 days because Earth is such an amazing game,
Yeah.
and having the simpler version of it would be nice. But the problem is, I'm going to want the like all in version of this thing
Oh, yeah.
because I do not like the little cardboard pieces that you just have randomly sitting there. They're gonna move. It's gonna, and so I'd want their what do they have, the play mats that have the cutouts, and that's just gonna make it that much more expensive.
Yeah.
That's I've watched some videos, and you get these. Well, I guess you get 3 cardboard strips to put your things in, and they're just going to keep moving around. And it's like one of those things where everything's just going to keep sliding. Your cards are going to keep moving, and I'm like, I know they're not going to stay in place, and I don't know how they're staying in place in the video when they're sitting on a wooden table. They must have glued them down. I honestly think they stuck them to the table because they don't move in their little thing,
They're
and those
CGI.
things are going to move. Yeah.
Or now they call it
So
AI. It's not CGI.
yeah. So I think what the version I would get would be like cost me like 123 US.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one I got.
And I think it might even cost more because I think that doesn't include. Oh no, that does include the playmats. So well, I guess it's not bad. But then
It's
it's playmats.
7
Like,
items included. Come on, man.
no, Rob, we gotta end the show.
What do you want to do? End the show before you see who's quicker, ending the show, or are you backing it? There you go.
Well, the good thing is
All right.
I'm the one that hits the button to end the show. So
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, so that's what we backed recently since last show, and we'll see
fine,
what
I'll just
happens.
freaking buy it.
Just do it now.
Fine. Just doing it now.
It's like that Saturday Night Live skit.
So I'd like to add Earth Express and Behind the Lens to my list of crowdfunding this week.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, do that. Back it after the show and then talk about it next week so we have more content.
Oh, I'll probably back something else in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't have anything big. Actually, no, there is something coming out next month. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. All right. So that's it for episode 120. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you all in 2 weeks when Mark, spoiler, talks about him backing Earth Express and Behind the Lens.
I just pledged it, so it's done. All right. Well, thanks. We'll see you guys at the table. Have a great week.